Before we dive into today's episode, we want to provide a quick discretion notice. Spirits with Crime is a podcast that explores true crime and paranormal stories, often delving into unsettling and sometimes disturbing subject matter. The content we discuss may not be suitable for all audiences, and listener discretion is advised.
While we strive to present these stories with respect and sensitivity, we understand that they may evoke strong emotions or discomfort. We encourage you to care for your well-being and pause or skip any segments that you find distressing.
Many of the topics we discuss are based on real-life events, and we make every effort to provide accurate information. However, due to the nature of the subjects, details may vary or be subject to differing interpretations. We encourage further research and exploration for a comprehensive understanding of the stories we present.
Lastly, our themed cocktails are meant to enhance the overall experience and provide a unique connection to the episode's topic. We remind you to drink responsibly and be aware of your own limits. Never drink and drive. Enjoy the
The Bosnian Vampire, thought to be responsible for epidemics. They crawl from their grave, rotting and full of disease, and their corpse is basically meant to infect. Did you touch the sticky part?
Yeah.
Just look at.
I'm like a vampire.
They're basically meant to infect and bring grief to those who eventually pass from the diseases that they bring.
Okay.
I hope you can hear that on the audio. The Russian Upir is a decaying, reanimated corpse who refuses to stay buried.
All right.
Anyone who strays from the teachings of the Russian Orthodox Church is basically on their path to becoming one of these people.
All right.
So, there you are. And then we transfer over to Romanian vampires. Which, oh my god, she's so loud. What is she doing?
Oh, isn't Transylvania in Romania or whatever?
Is it? I have no idea.
I don't know.
I don't like to assume.
Well,
the first Romanian vampire we have is called a strigoi.
okay.
And I don't remember the name of the show. If you know the name, leave the name in the comments for me, because I really liked it. There's a show basically about vampires, and it's like a disease, but they're called strigoi. And it's like this whole scientific thing. It was a really good show. I just don't remember what it's called.
Interesting.
But there are living and dead versions of strigoi. The dead versions are the deadliest, so they're more dangerous than the ones that are alive.
Okay.
And strigoi is taken from the word striga, which is witch, and it describes entities who are doomed to become vampires after death.
Okay.
Vampires and witches are known to work together to plot against the living in this case, so that's kind of why they're connected. Oh my god. The dead versions will come back to life, and they aim to suck the blood of their families and livestock, and then they will move on to their neighbors.
Okay.
So
It's kind of like Klaus.
Yeah. He does have quite a vengeance for his family.
Yeah, Klaus really likes to do shit like that. Like kill other people's family, like Tyler.
Oh yeah.
His mom.
Tyler kind of deserved it.
Yeah, I hated Tyler. You know Tyler is the girl I work with, Sam's cousin.
Really?
Like his real life. Yeah.
Oh.
I don't even know his real life. I mean name. I don't know it.
Has he been in anything else?
I have no idea. I don't know, but yeah, that's her cousin. She sees him all the time.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, Sam, I hate your cousin's guy that he played.
Yeah, honestly, Tyler was a fucking douchebag.
He really was, until like really late in the whole thing.
Yeah, super
and then
late.
He died.
Literally. And then all of a sudden he's like this hybrid. Like, no, you're not the hybrid. Klaus is a hybrid. Relax.
Yeah, it's just weird.
Like, go away. Donnie Klaus, he's got my heart. And him and Caroline. I'm very upset they didn't end up together. But you know why they didn't? Because Julie Plec said it would be more epic than Damon and Elena.
That's true.
So she couldn't put them together.
That's fair.
I'm like, but Elena left. Why wouldn't you oh, but I guess she left after there was the wedding with Stefan. Right?
Was it after the wedding?
No, it wasn't.
They got together before. I don't know when the wedding was.
Okay, if I'm going to be honest here, they should have put Klaus and Caroline together. It's making me very upset that they didn't.
Well, I think the aim was that it was there, and the only reason it didn't happen was because of the twins, right?
And Stefan.
Fuck Stefan.
God, Stefan is so boring.
In my head, Caroline didn't go for Klaus because he was dangerous, and Stefan was safer, and she had the twins. And that's why she chose to stay with him instead.
Well, yeah, definitely, but the more epic love story is with Klaus.
Well,
because, dude, no, because they were Alaric's children.
she birthed them.
Yes, but then why was she with Stefan when they were Alaric's children?
Did you know?
Why wouldn't she just go to Klaus?
Have you not watched the children one? What's it called?
Oh, no, I tried to, and there was a gargoyle, and I was like, no.
In that one, Stefan is like, I don't know if he's in the
He's
picture.
dead.
Yeah, so she is traveling the world trying to find a cure for Klaus's daughter, I think.
Hope?
Mm-hmm. But she's with Alaric, like the twins call her mom.
Well, yeah.
And they call Alaric dad.
They should.
And they act like they're together. Like they're married. Yeah, I think they get married.
See, they get married?
I'm pretty sure they get
Why?
married.
Why wouldn't you get married to Klaus?
Don't know.
Well,
Klaus is dead in that series.
Oh, yeah, I forgot he died. But he wasn't before.
Well,
They should have got together.
anyway.
I was so happy when they slept together. It made me so happy. I was like, this is what I've been waiting for. But Julie Plec was right. It would have been more epic than Damon and Elena. 100%.
Just write a fan fiction about it. I'm sure there are some.
There 100% are. I don't want to.
All right, fan fiction about it.
No, I just want her to change the ending.
Well, if we're being honest, she'll just probably write a different story that's like that.
Well, she should definitely. Do you know how much, publicity and shit she would get for Caroline and Klaus's story? Dude. She would fucking make a bank.
I mean, there might be room for that. I don't know the timeline of that before he dies, but there might be room for some of that before he does die. Who knows? Anyway. Back to the European vampires.
I told you I'd be talking about
that are not
vampires
as
a lot.
attractive as Vampire Diaries.
Daddy Klaus.
The next ones are Albanian Striga.
Straight up.
Striga.
Oh, Striga.
They're also witch-like. And the name comes from the Latin word for owl. Because they're said to be demonic flying creatures.
Ooh.
And it's believed that they're witches who are normal during the day and transform into an insect, like a fly or a moth,
Ew!
and attack victims to drink their blood.
Why wouldn't they just be a fucking mosquito then?
Maybe mosquitoes are too small, I don't know.
If you want to drink blood, why wouldn't you be a goddamn mosquito?
I don't know. Maybe that's like the paranormal side of what people thought mosquitoes were.
Oh.
I don't know. I didn't do my research on mosquitoes. Okay. That takes us to German vampires. And there are a few. There's the Alp, which is a sorcerer who changes forms, often into a bird or a cat, to cause mischief. They enter the thoughts of sleeping victims and create nightmares.
Just like the fucking show.
This often results in convulsions and hysteria while you're sleeping, and awakening suddenly with feeling like there's pressure on your chest and feeling like you were being suffocated when you wake up is a sign that there was one of
Wait,
these.
shut up. That actually, like, ties in with the Vampire Diaries.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, they can, like, do the dreams, and then they wake up and they're like,
Yeah.
oh my god, how cool.
And that vampire type is also in, like, a lot of other...
What's it called? The
Vampire
Shmeekma?
stuff.
Shmeek.
The owl.
Oh my god. The Sigma?
The Strika?
Strega.
No, this one's called the Alp.
Oh my god. That was disgusting. I just called it the Shmeekma.
It's not that.
Strega.
Yeah. Okay. So that's not the right one, though. It's the Alp that does that.
Oh, this is the hell. Okay.
The
So many different kinds. Holy
there
shit.
are a lot. The Shrati is a human corpse who has eaten away at the funerary shroud, which is a cloth that covers the body when they put them in their, like, coffin.
What are they called?
A funerary shroud?
No, the
Oh,
type.
the Shrati. Shrati? Shrati.
Okay.
And then they rise from the grave after eating the shroud. They often drive their victims to insanity, and they will go after their own family first. Sometimes they're also blamed for diseases in the villages.
Jesus.
That takes us to woodwives. Oh my lord. Hello?
Well, shit.
Oh my. Is something towed outside?
I don't know. Is that my car?
Parked right up front?
I don't know. Rafa parked my car. Oh, no, definitely
it's
not.
AAA. They opened the car and it went
Oh,
off.
okay. Gotcha.
Apologies. The next ones are woodwives. They pose as fairies,
Ooh.
and they attack hunters and woodcutters.
Well, I would attack hunters too. Woodcutters? But hunters? Yeah.
You wouldn't attack it like a lumberjack?
But they don't kill other animals. I mean, if he was a dick, then yeah.
Okay.
But, like, if you're a hunter, then you're automatically a dick.
Alright. I have nothing to say about that.
I know, it's very controversial.
The Baobin Sith is...
Sith?
Yes.
Like a Sith Lord?
They're seductive females who can change appearance, often into crows or ravens, and they move pretty freely.
Or like a siren.
No, those are fish. Mermaids. Those are mermaids.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Have you seen the Vampire Diaries? Sirens are not mermaids.
She was literally in water the whole time.
Yeah, but that was not a mermaid.
Okay.
That was
Well, that's
scary.
why they're called sirens. They will lure travelers and hunters into singing and dancing with them, and then in the middle of the party, they will kill them.
Oh my god, what a celebration.
Yeah.
I want to go to that party.
Literally, quite a party pooper they are.
Oh, party pooper. Party foul, dude. Talk about the
That is
ultimate
pretty
party foul. Holy shit. You spill your
Imagine.
drink, party foul. Oh god, you fucking killed someone.
First of all, could you imagine, like, these people probably didn't even want to go to the party. They were literally lured there.
And then they get killed. That's a really unfortunate way to go. I'm at a party that I don't even like. Oh, and then I die there? That sucks. That really sucks.
You'd
I should
definitely be a ghost.
I should at least like a party if I'm gonna die there.
That's true.
Come on.
Well, I mean, no one said they didn't like it. They were just lured there. Maybe they started enjoying it when they were there, and then that's when she kills them.
Oh, cool.
You're enjoying this party too much. Get out of here.
You're enjoying this part too much.
You
I'm
have
gonna
to
kill
relax.
In your grave.
The next one is the Welsh hag.
Hag.
She's a female demon.
That is one of my favorite insults.
Hag?
calling someone a hag? That's so good.
Can't relate.
What? Why? Like, if they're old and they're being a bitch? Like, what a fucking hag. You stupid hag. That sounds so good. That's so offensive.
It sounds like you're trying not to cuss at somebody.
I disagree. I have no fucking hag.
Okay. Well, they can take the form of a young maiden, a mature matron, or an ugly old crone.
What is a crone?
Like a very elderly, like witch-like appearance.
Why
type
don't you
of
just say
woman.
an old bitch?
I don't know.
Like, what is it? No, like, I'm talking about the word in general. Like,
Oh.
why?
I don't know. Oh, that's just like an old-timey word.
Oh, okay.
And I do want to note that that also relates to witchery, as witches are often called hags, but also that
And wenches.
What? That's pirates. Wenches?
No, that's witches.
No.
No.
You're wrong.
No, I'm telling you a wench.
Wrong.
What
Absolutely
is
incorrect.
a wench?
A wench is a woman,
Yeah, I know.
but it's like, that's pirate talk.
No.
Yeah.
It literally says witch. No, it doesn't.
Anyway, the young maiden, the mature matron, and the ugly old crone. What is the difference between witch and wench and bitch? Okay,
Alright, maybe
I'll take your word for it.
Okay, maybe that's not very reliable.
The young maiden, the mature matron, and the ugly old crone are also phases of the moon. So, in like...
Who's the waning?
I don't know.
Who's the waxing?
Okay,
Who's the
so
crescent?
waxing would be youthful reborn, so that would be the maiden, I think.
Okay.
Don't quote me. I'm pretty sure that's correct. And then once it's a full moon, you would be the mature matron. And then when it's waxing, I believe it's the old crone.
It's a wench.
Sure. Something along those lines. Don't quote me. It's like something.
What
having
about
to-
crescent?
No.
Who's the crescent?
Nobody.
Well, someone should be.
Nobody is the crescent.
I'll be the crescent.
I guess it depends on if the moon is waxing or waning, and then it could be related to either the maiden or the crone.
Okay, gotcha.
Then we take it to Latin vampires. And guess what? The chupacabra is a vampire.
Shut the fuck up! Shut up!
No.
The chupacabra?
Vampire.
Bruh!
You know why? Because they attack livestock. Their name means goat sucker.
Oh, wait, that could be going in two different ways.
Their name means goat sucker.
Oh, I don't like that.
In the 1990s, attacks on livestock in Puerto Rico, Mexico, Texas, and even as far as Maine.
What kind of attacks?
Attacks on livestock, where their
What
blood
kind?
was drained.
Okay, blood. Alright, okay.
The ones that were killed by farmers in real life always ended up being really emaciated, ill, mange-ridden coyotes. So
Werewolves.
yes. So chupacabras are often, it's like a lot of the other cryptids. Like, oh, that could have just been something with mange, because have you seen an animal with mange? It's
Yes.
really disgusting.
It's awful.
It looks like another creature.
It's
literally.
horrific.
So
Chupacabra.
look up your own pictures, but that's what they always end up being, is just coyotes with mange. I do still believe that the chupacabra's out there, though.
Really?
You don't?
I don't know.
Why not?
I'm a very factual person. That's why I'm controversial. We're probably going to cut this out. That's why I'm really weird about religion.
Oh,
Because if I don't see,
I'm cutting that out.
if I don't see God, then God ain't there.
That's fair.
You should cut that part out.
No, I'm gonna keep that in.
Okay. Well, I also haven't seen Jesus, so that's not real either.
That's fair.
I'm just saying.
Hey,
Also,
it's your prerogative.
hey, also, little kids, innocent little children, die of cancer. If God and Jesus are watching over us, why the fuck would they allow a little child to die of cancer? I'm sorry.
You're going to have to ask someone in the church that question.
Well, fuck the church. I don't believe in the church. Because what are they going to say? Well, there needs to be a balance of life. Really? From a fucking child? Kill an old bitch. What are you talking about? Psycho? I'm going to kill a child? That's not very godly of you. Holy fuck.
I mean, the Greek gods were...
You got me started, bitch.
The Greek gods were angry.
Yes,
All the
but
time.
the way that God is portrayed, he's the Lord and Savior of little children with cancer.
I will say, I do like Greek mythology with
It's more
multiple
realistic.
gods.
It's more realistic.
Much better than the one singular.
Yes. Because we
But-
sit here and we're supposed to worship this dude that fucking kills children with cancer. I'm like, they have all the power in the world, so why wouldn't they cure children of cancer?
Maybe God's an asshole.
But he's portrayed as
Just
this
will appreciate
amazing
this.
person.
Because Peach PRC has a song called God is a Freak.
God is also a woman.
She said in her song, why is he watching me getting freaky with a chick?
True. And why are you letting children die?
So,
All I'm saying
that's
is,
what it is.
if you're God and we gotta look up to you, children shouldn't be fucking dying of cancer. Sorry. No.
Well, the chupacabra isn't a god, and I believe in him. So,
Where did we even, how did I even get to God?
you said
Oh,
you're
I was
factual.
like, I don't believe it unless I see it. And I sure as hell don't believe in that motherfucker named God.
We'll
Ew.
go on a trip sometime, and we'll see if we can find a chupacabra. Let's
To
just
heaven,
look for all the
let's
cryptids.
look for God.
No thanks. I'd
Why?
rather not do that.
I want to have a word with God.
I don't.
Why?
Why would you?
Because I want to ask him what the fuck is going on. Why would you do this?
That's none of my business.
I want to know. I'm a very why bitch. I need to know why everything, if you haven't noticed.
I don't need to know.
I do.
Okay, we're gonna discuss one last type, and then I'm going to discuss just vampires in general, and then I'm done. And then you can talk.
I love talking.
The last one we're talking about is the Japanese vampires,
Ooh.
and they're
What is
called
it?
kappas. Have you ever heard of a kappa?
Like Kappa Gamma?
No. They resemble hairless monkeys
Ew!
with large round eyes, webbed fingers, and toes.
Ew!
They come from waterways and ponds, and
Oh, I'm thinking of a Kippa.
Huh?
No, I'm thinking of a Koopa.
Oh,
Yeah.
from Mario. No. No, these look way different. They suck their blood from victims through their intestines.
Ew! Oh my god, how did they get to there?
Yucky, huh? They
How
kill
do-
you.
And then they open your intestines and. Ew! Oh my god!
Disgusting.
Yeah, if God existed, would he allow that to happen? I think the fuck not. Jesus Christ.
Alright.
Not actually.
So,
He ain't around.
dumb.
Shut up. You got into it. You told me to start talking about it, so I did. I don't want to hear it. You got me started.
That's fair. Okay.
Yeah, I know it is, because it's true.
So,
I'm like, Jesus.
so some vampires will gain memories from their victims. Others will gain powers. And others will just gain bloodlust. So,
Very, very, very close to Vampire Diaries.
yes. In Interview with a Vampire, Louis describes being
An interview. When was this? Before chlamydia?
interview to a vampire.
Oh, I think it's an interview with a vampire.
Yeah. Interview with a Vampire
Yeah.
is a book that became a show.
Oh, it's a book. Jesus.
In Interview with a Vampire, Louis describes being weak to paralysis after being turned by Lestat. So he describing during his transition, he couldn't move. Like, he felt very powerless. In superstitious areas, plagues are often blamed on supernatural... Jesus Christ. Tina!
She's so goddamn loud.
Shut up. In superstitious areas...
Rafa!
Why did she sit so close to the door?
Because
like that?
she's trying.
In superstitious areas, plagues are often blamed on supernatural circumstances.
Wait. I have to text him.
I have to put a towel under the door or something.
Seriously. Can you get her away from the door? Jesus Christ, dude.
Okay. In superstition... oh my god. Jesus Christ. In superstitious areas, plagues are often blamed on supernatural circumstances. Or, the sickness of that plague is said to create vampirism. So, they're kind of tying them together.
Right.
People would surround themselves with pungent odors like garlic, juniper, incense, and animal or human feces.
Like, ew.
To ward off evil spirits, which were said to come through the stench of death. So people were dying from plagues, and they were like, let me put this smell around me so that it'll block the stench of death coming for me, so that the evil stays away, if that makes sense. Outcasts in the town were also blamed for plagues like this, and people would often
Yes.
call them vampires.
Yes.
Or any stranger who had arrived in town around the same time people became ill were also blamed.
That has a lot to do with my story.
Okay, good. Steps would be taken upon the person to fall ill, and they would often stake them or burn them to try and, fend off the evil, I guess. And a person who was involved with vampires could have several different fates. Obviously, they could be kept alive as livestock for the vampire until the vampire was done with them, or they would bleed out, in which case they may also become an undead person, just like the vampire, which is how they turn. If we're talking about characteristics, they're obviously often pale with fangs. The fangs are more closely related to, like, snake fangs. Like, we often see them as just really long human canines, like this, like really thick, but they're supposed to be...
This is not what they look like.
No, they're supposed to look like needles.
Huh.
Like that thin. Oftentimes, in like legends, there are stories of maidens who's like helpers. You know how they would have helpers back then. She would see the bite marks in her neck and thought, oh, I just pricked her by putting on her like dress, you know. So they're often really unnoticeable and not big gaping holes in your neck like in the Vampire Diaries. They're said to sleep in coffins, but earlier legend involves them needing native soil to rest. So they need to have native soil like underneath them in order to rest. Yeah. They also can't cross running water, according to legend. And their weaknesses, finally, I think this is the last portion I have, are crosses and crucifixes, holy water, fire, garlic, the Bible, mirrors, and often in legends they are known to break mirrors. And then lastly, poppy or mustard seeds.
Huh.
Can you guess why?
No.
Because
they're disgusting?
No. Think of Sesame Street. No. Did you never watch Sesame Street?
Maybe like 20 years ago.
Okay. Well, because they have an obsession with counting grains. So
What?
So if you throw seeds at their face, they are compelled to count them. And then you can run away.
Wait, that's hella funny.
On Sesame Street, there is a counting vampire. And you don't remember? he's like,
Girl, last time I saw that, I was like 5.
Really?
Do you watch Sesame Street regularly?
No, but I see it on TikTok. Where he's like,
yeah, right.
1 cupcake, ha ha ha. 2 cupcakes, ha ha ha. You never seen that?
I don't know what TikTok you're on, but I'm not on that TikTok. Apparently you're on Puppet TikTok.
I guess. And that's all I got for you.
Alright. Amazing. Now, I am going to get into a specific vampire or two. So we have Arnold Peole, I think. He was a Serbian hajduk.
Oh.
Do you know what that is?
No.
Well, I'll tell you right now.
Okay.
It's someone who's like an outlaw or like a freedom fighter.
Oh, okay. I was not expecting that.
Yeah, well, at least I look it up. He was believed to have become a vampire after his death in 1726.
Okay.
This started an epidemic of vampirism that killed at least 16 people.
Oh.
In a small village in Serbia.
I was like, 16 is not really a lot.
In a tiny village in Serbia
village,
in 1726. He became famous because of his direct involvement in the Austria authorities and the Austrian documentation of physicians and officers who confirmed vampires were real.
Oh.
They reported the case and... Oh, wait. Yeah, no, he became famous because... Yeah, never mind. They reported the case, and it was sent across Western Europe.
Okay.
Now
that I think about it, I think the 1st century is like 1700-ish, like that area.
Huh.
Like...
Then when did chlamydia come out?
Before that, probably.
No. They reported the case. It was sent across Western Europe. This contributed to the spread of the vampire beliefs among the educated Europeans.
Only the educated?
Apparently so, which is very interesting.
That's very interesting.
The report and its significance from the 18th century vampire is now debunked, as they just didn't understand the decomposition process back then.
Oh. Sounds about right, okay.
Scholars suggest that Arnold's case has influenced the depiction of vampires in popular culture texts. He had moved to that village from the
The Turkish?
He had moved to that village from the Turkish-controlled part of Serbia. He came to the village to obtain some land. He had often mentioned that he had been plagued by a vampire before.
Oh.
In Kosovo. So, Kosovo is located in the heart of the Balkans.
Oh, okay. Got it.
He claimed he had cured himself by eating soil from the vampire's grave and smearing himself with blood.
Whose blood?
The vampire's blood.
Oh, okay. I was like, oh,
yeah.
Okay.
And then, in 1725, he broke his neck from falling off of a hay wagon.
Wow. What a way to go.
That's really unfortunate, dude.
Oh my gosh.
That's really unfortunate.
How do you break your neck falling off of a hay wagon?
Dude.
They're low to the ground. Just unfortunate, I
No,
guess.
I guess so. I guess it's just it's a series of unfortunate events right there.
Sounds like it.
So, within 20 to 30 days after his death, 4 people claimed to have been plagued by him. They said Arnold had harassed them as well, sucking their blood from their veins.
Sounds like, witches.
I don't know.
When they were, like, the Salem witch trials, when they were plaguing people.
Oh, yes. All these people died very shortly after him.
Cool.
10 days later and 40 days after Arnold died, the village was advised by their Hadnuk, which is a military or administrative title, who had seen such events before, to open his grave. They saw the body was decomposed with all the indications of an arc vampire. I didn't look that one up, alright? Fuck you.
Okay.
His veins were filled with, like, fluid blood. and the fresh blood had flowed from his eyes, nose, mouth, and ears.
Oh.
Yeah. The
Okay.
shirt he was wearing was covered in blood.
Interesting.
Super interesting. The old nails on his hands and feet and skin fell off. He had grown new ones.
Ew.
Yeah. His body was red, and his nails, hair, and beard all of it had grown back. Weird, right?
Yeah, like he's still alive.
Yeah, super fucking weird. So, they confirmed he was a vampire, so they drove a wooden stake through his heart.
Okay.
He reacted to this with a frightful shriek, like he was alive, and he groaned and continued to bleed.
Oh my god, I would literally die.
They cut off his head and burned his body.
Fair. That's fair.
Then they dug up four others that claimed that they were they were plagued. And they did the same thing to prevent them from becoming vampires. Then we have 5 years later. There was a second outbreak in the winter of 1731. More than 10 people died within a few weeks, and some just in 2 to 3 days without previous illnesses.
That's scary.
Very scary. I was reading this and I was like, holy fuck. Hold on.
It's like the bubonic plague.
It's so weird. The number of deceased individuals varies between two main sources. So the first one is Austrian military doctor Glaser. He was an infectious disease specialist. He reported that by December 12th, 13 people died in the course of 6 weeks.
Wow.
They had complained of stabs in the side and chest pain, long fevers, and jerks of the limbs.
God.
Yeah. Glaser reported that this was spread from the first two victims who had passed, which was Milica and Stana. Those are the two ones that passed after Arnold Peole. That they said, I was plagued.
Interesting.
Yeah. Milica had come to the village from Ottoman-controlled... See, like you were saying, they were usually outsiders. So, came to the village from an Ottoman-controlled territory 6 years prior.
Okay.
They always,
Yeah.
just like you said. That's
I
why
don't know you.
That's why when you said that, I was like, oh, that makes so much sense. But her neighbors said she was great and nice, and that she had no signs of being into anything evil or diabolical. Nothing. But she did mention to them that when she was still in the Ottoman-controlled lands, she ate 2 sheep that were killed by vampires.
What? First of all, why would you eat the lambs that were killed by vampires?
Who knows?
Number 2, why would you tell people that?
I have no clue.
In what type of conversation does that come up?
No
What did you have for dinner several weeks ago?
2 lambs that were killed by vampires. I don't know where that comes from, but apparently she mentioned that.
Okay.
But then Stana admitted, the other one that they accused, that when she was in the Ottoman-controlled lands, she had smeared herself with vampire blood as a protection against vampires because they were very active in that area. According to local belief, this would cause them to become vampires after death.
Well, not very smart of her.
Not very smart
She did
of
a
her
little
at all.
oopsie.
Oh yeah. Then we have the other account. Austrian military doctor Fluckinger.
Alright.
Or Fluckinger. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Reported by January 7th that there were 17 people dead in the span of 3 months.
Oh.
One of the deceased people, named Stanojka, was reported to have gone to bed completely healthy 15 days before she died by her father-in-law. Like, her father-in-law was like, she was totally fine. However, so that night she had woken up around midnight, super scared, saying she was throttled by another one of the deceased victims that had already died from this plague, from being a vampire.
That's really scary.
Yeah. She said he had come into her room and onto her bed and tried to strangle her.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fluckinger said that the locals blamed Milica again because of the sheep she had eaten that were killed by the previous vampires from the Peole epidemic.
I'm going to say that's fair. Why did she tell them that?
They also said the same thing about Stana and her child.
Okay.
Because Stana's child also was killed.
Well, I don't know about that one being as fair, but...
Now we go into the investigation. So Glazer went to investigate the villagers in their houses. He couldn't find any indication of contagious disease. So he blamed it on malnutrition and the Eastern Orthodox fasting.
Okay, very, scientific.
Yes.
Okay.
The villagers insisted it was vampires. 2 or 3 households were gathering together and taking turns on the watch.
Imagine living during that and thinking, what would you do if you thought it was, if we lived in a really small...
I think I'd be very curious.
You'd want to see it?
I think I would. I think I would take all the night watches.
You would for sure die.
Oh, for sure.
100%.
But I would want to see it,
You would be the next one they blame.
That's fine. They were convinced the deaths wouldn't stop, like the villagers, until the authorities executed them all. And they threatened to abandon the village in order to save their lives unless this wasn't done, which I understand.
That seems valid.
Valid. Glazer consented to the exhumation of some of the dead people.
That they claimed they were seeing?
Yes.
Okay.
So, found that most of them weren't decomposed. And many were swollen and had blood in their mouths.
Oh.
The ones that died more recently were decomposed.
Interesting.
Very odd. Glazer reported his findings and recommended they did execute the vampires. So they sent a second commission to investigate.
Do you discuss later what the possible...
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So now we're going into the second commission investigation.
Okay.
Fluckinger was the military surgeon of...
Sounds like you're saying fuckinger.
Fluckinger was the military surgeon of this commission. And there were 2 officers and 2 more military surgeons in this commission.
Okay.
So on January 7th, together with the old people from the village and some local gypsies, opened the graves of these deceased. Oh, I wrote opened the graves.
The grapes.
The graves.
Oh, okay.
With a B.
Perfect.
I'm not sure what that means, but...
The grapes.
The grapes.
With a P.
The P?
With a P.
Oh.
Grapes.
No, it was a B.
Great. Oh, got it. Okay.
Look. That's a grape.
I have my contacts so I can see the stuff.
Bitch. So, similar findings to Glazer's, but they added more detail. 5 bodies were decomposed. 12 of them were described as quite complete and undecayed, while showing signs of vampirism.
Okay.
Their chests and some of their organs were filled with fresh blood. Some corpses were plump and had red color. They weren't pale like a dead person would be.
Okay.
And the same with the nails and hair, how they had regrown.
Okay, but here's the thing. If you were undead, like a vampire, and you got out of your coffin, why would you go back in?
Hold on.
Would you go back in? If you were one?
How would I get out, dude?
If you were a vampire, you dig out.
Girl, they're nailed in.
Then how did they get out?
I'll tell you in a second.
Okay.
The surgeons summarized their findings by stating the bodies were in vampiric condition. Or vampiric, I don't know, whatever. After the examination of the bodies, the gypsies cut the deceased heads off and burned both their heads and body, throwing the ashes into a river. The decomposed ones were put back in their graves.
Okay.
There were no more mysterious deaths after this.
I feel like it was a Jack the Ripper situation, and they were just blaming it on people.
I think it was a pandemic situation.
Also could be.
Now we're going to February 13th, the day before goddamn Valentine's Day.
Beautiful.
Glazer's dad, who was a doctor, sent a letter to the journal he worked at describing the entire case Glazer had written to him.
Okay.
This story became really huge, and both reports from Glazer and Flockinger were printed in articles and treaties and spread. The report from the monk Calmet stated the following. It's really long. So, they discovered at last, after much search, that the defunct Arnold Peole had killed not only the 4 persons of whom we have spoken, but also several oxen, of which the new vampires had eaten, and amongst others the son of Milo. Upon these indications, they resolved to disinter all those who had died within a certain time, etc. Amongst 40, 17 were found with all the most evident signs of vampirism. So they transfixed their hearts and cut off their heads also, then cast their ashes into the river. All the information and executions we have just mentioned were made judicial in proper form, and attested by several officers who were garrisoned in the country, by the chief surgeons of the regiments, and by the principal inhabitants of the place. That is his, in treaties and articles. Which is fucking crazy.
Did they have like family members in that village too? The deceased people?
We'll see.
Okay.
They said that many people looked into this, and it was confirmed. So then the Catholic Church heard of this mutilation of the bodies, and obviously there's a problem, because according to their beliefs, the bodies of Christians waiting to be resurrected were desecrated, so they couldn't go to heaven.
They were resurrected.
Well, yeah, but fuck God. Anyways.
You'd think they'd be like, this is not what God had planned with resurrection, and they'd be like, yeah, do that.
No, they were upset about other stuff.
Well, sounds about right.
Yep. A specialist from the Catholic Church got involved, Giuseppe Davanzati.
Oh.
He was an archbishop of the Roman Catholic Church and a vampirologist.
I want to be a vampirologist.
Me too. He spent years analyzing the problems of vampires.
Wow, all the way back then too?
Yeah.
Okay.
He concluded that this was all a result of human fantasy, likely coming from demonic origin.
What? Wait. He said that it's not real, like people are imagining it?
Yes.
But he blamed it on demons.
It's fantasy, but it's coming from demonic origin.
Okay, so a lot of
so they're thinking,
what I was describing.
Yes, okay. Exactly. However, Calmet, whatever, still insisted this was all real and that they were animated by the demons. Then, this all came to an end when Marie Antoinette's mom's personal... Hold on.
Two moms?
This all came to an end when Marie Antoinette's mom's personal physician did a full examination of the bodies.
I was like, 2 moms?
No.
This story's getting wild.
That was unaccepted that time.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
Well, Marie Antoinette's mom's personal physician concluded that there were no such thing as vampires.
Alright.
Now we have the theories of the body evidence. Because obviously I was very curious about that. Because how are they not decomposed, you know? Like, that's very confusing.
I would like to know.
Yeah, well, I'm about to tell you. So, there are many scientific theories about what really happened to the bodies and why some of them weren't decomposing and they looked fresh. We have premature burial. Most popular theory. Catalepsy.
Oh, you mean like they were still alive when they buried them? Oh, okay.
Because of a disease. Catalepsy, was a disease that made the infected look like they were dead,
That's
but they weren't, which
my
could have been
God.
why they were buried prematurely.
That's horrendous.
Isn't that fucking terrifying?
Yes.
Absolutely horrific. Then we have soil.
Oh.
Some believe that the soil that we're buried in had something in it, or maybe an unusual lack of moisture, causing the
So they
decaying to go very slow.
They were just buried. They were just buried in the soil, not in coffins or anything.
No, they were in coffins.
Oh, but the soil like seeped through.
Yeah, maybe like something.
Like insulation.
The shrieks when the bodies were staked were believed to be from air leaving their corpse.
I have heard that happens sometimes, and it's terrifying.
Yeah, I know.
Like from morticians, like they will hear screaming.
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell one story. My aunt died of a brain aneurysm, and
Aww.
she was in a coma, and in the middle of her coma, she like rolled her body and yelled, and her parents were like, "Oh my God, she's alive! She's alive!" It was awful. It was absolutely horrific.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So we're gonna move on to the next one.
Are you sure you don't have a curse on you? that
No, I'm not
causes
sure.
Convulsions. Are you sure you're not just?
I don't think I have
Your
brain
family's not
aneurysm, but I don't
possessed
know.
by a demon?
It might be. I'm gonna be real here. I don't know.
That might be an option.
Maybe. But we have the next theory, which is rabies.
Okay.
People with rabies would bite, had animal characteristics and habits, and a crazy thirst. Rabies epidemic did occur during this time in Hungary, Saxony, and East Prussia.
But that doesn't explain their bodies.
No, it doesn't.
Not decompose.
No, but it
Okay.
explains their behavior.
Well, that's fair.
Yeah.
That could have played a part.
Then we have porphyria. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
It's a disease with a symptom that causes the infected to have a severe sensitivity to light.
Oh, I have heard of that, but I didn't know what it was called. That still exists.
Then we have the incorrect. Oh my God. Then we have the incorrect decomposition beliefs.
Okay.
These people who had examined the bodies when this all happened were looking for just straight up like natural decomposition. But they couldn't find that, so they blamed it on vampirism.
Interesting.
This is my last tidbit here.
Okay.
So, vampires now. Vampires now are pretty glorified, and they sparkle in the sun, and they're romantic. And all that shit.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I literally have that in my script. But then, they were not described, like back then, they were not described as that at all.
Yeah.
Which you described. They were described as terrifying, repulsive creatures who would eat anything.
Yep.
Scholars have suggested that Arnold Peole influenced the portrayal of modern vampires. Like the human version of them.
Okay.
He was one of the very first documented cases of the undead sucking blood from living humans.
Interesting.
So, the reason that a lot of, like, modern cultural, like, things about vampires are here, they say comes from Arnold Peole. Because he was a human and a vampire, and he was so normal and, like, crazy, huh?
Yeah, actually.
Super crazy.
I didn't know that story.
I didn't
at all.
either.
I thought, well, I knew vampires existed before Dracula, but I thought that that's what popularized it.
No.
Like that way.
It was Arnold Peole. He popularized it being an actual human. Then I think Dracula came around because Dracula is a human. But before, they're described as these horrifying creatures.
Yeah.
But then Arnold Peole comes around and it's like, oh, he's a human. He's just creepy.
Okay, fair enough.
So, yeah. That's where they say that the modern look on vampirism came from Arnold Peole.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
If,
I don't think he was hot, though.
well, we know why that came about. Just for popularity for like shows and stuff.
Well, you gotta be hot to be popular. I'll just say it.
You do.
Pretty privilege is real.
It is. Glinda did it best.
Really unfortunate, but it's real.
I do want to ask you, after going over all of these different types of vampires, what type do you think you would be?
I think I would be a Slytherin. What is it called?
I'm a Slytherin.
What the fuck are they called?
From mine?
The Keepas?
What?
The
Kappas?
Koopas?
The Kappas?
The seed something?
What?
I don't know. You named like 7. I'm trying to think of 2 of them.
Which one?
The Koopas.
The Kappa.
Yeah. And then
The Japanese one.
the other one, the Sigu.
The Striga?
Striga! Yeah, the Slytherins.
Okay. Alright, that's fair.
I don't remember what either of them meant, but I just remember those 2 names.
You liked those?
I did.
That's fair enough. Do you think you would be like a pretty one, or would you think you'd be like an ugly one?
I'd be so hot.
I was gonna say, I think
No.
I'd be ugly.
Okay, so which one do you think you are?
I like the story with the Greek god with Lamia, the first one I said, where...
I didn't know we were going all the way back then.
Well, I said all
Because
of
I
them.
would want to be a Greek goddess.
Well, she was mortal.
So she was still incredible and powerful. That's what I want to be. So fuck a Koopa.
She's the one who
And a
took...
Strigma.
She's the one who Hera killed all her kids and then exiled her. And
Okay,
then-
never mind. Why the You're morbid. You would kill all your kids.
Hera killed them, not her. And then she took revenge on humanity.
Oh yeah, on babies.
Yes.
You would do that.
And their mortal mothers, I think.
You would do that?
No, but I think I like that story.
I think you should be a Koopa.
I like the creation of that story.
Or a Stigma.
A Striga?
A Striga.
I do like the Strigoi, although in the show...
Is that the plural of it?
No, that's like a similar one. But they are very ugly in that show that I was talking about with the Strigoi, so...
Well, what I'm saying is, all vampires I've seen are mad hot. And I would love to be a vampire.
Oh, yeah.
If I was Catherine Pierce, I would rule the world.
Do you also die like her?
Man, it's been that long, I would fucking hope so.
That's fair. She did quite accept it at the end.
She was like 700 years old, dude.
Well, because she kept fighting for her life.
Yeah, good for her, because she lived a great life. You know how many...
I wouldn't call it great.
She did. Do you know how many guys, super hot guys, she hooked up with and had all these different lives? I would eat that shit up. I want so many different lives.
I don't care.
No, I would want to move every, 40 years and have a whole new life? I would love that.
I think
No, maybe like 20.
I think I'd live more of a Klaus life with the art and like New Orleans and all that.
Nah. I would want to go everywhere and create a new person.
I thought you were gonna say a new problem.
That too. I would create a new problem as well.
Okay, well, fair enough. Fair enough. Anything else you want to say?
I want to be a vampire. Not these kinds, but the ones in Vampire Diaries.
Me too, if we're being honest.
Dude. Oh, that'd be so lit.
I just want to glamour people. What do they call it? I forgot.
Compel?
Okay,
Oh, I would love. Oh my god. Do you know how rich I would be?
That's
Oh
what
my god.
exactly
I would
what
go.
was thinking
I would
too.
go straight up to Elon Musk, and I'd be like, "Yo, give me $17 billion. What's he gonna do? Nothing. And he'll still have like 93 billion left."
I don't think it's that much, but
No, he has a lot.
93 billion after he gives you.
He has like
1.7.
He has like
17?
$117 billion.
Jesus Christ.
Like, I'm not kidding.
No one needs that much money.
Exactly. So why don't you? Yeah, never mind. We're not gonna. Anyways, yes, I would be a vampire, and I would compel Elon Musk. I would compel Elon Musk to give me maybe all his money.
Okay. That's fair.
What would you do?
I don't think I would go to Elon Musk.
Who would you?
Alone.
Jeff Bezos.
Oh, probably.
You go to Jeff Bezos for sure.
I'd probably go to several people because I don't think anyone should have that much money.
Oh, I would also go to Taylor Swift.
Oh, I wouldn't steal from Taylor Swift. She's
I
an
hate
angel.
her.
Really?
I hate that bitch.
She's a real life angel.
Oh my gosh, you're
Just kidding.
crazy.
I'm just kidding. She's probably
Crazy
not.
girl. Do you know how many problems she's had with all these different men? You really
You
think?
were just saying you would also create all those problems with several different men.
Yeah, if I was a vampire.
Maybe she is.
I don't think so.
Confirmed.
She's just
Taylor Swift is a vampire.
no. She's just problematic. She's just a problematic white bitch.
Listen. There's all these rumors now that she's dating whatever the fuck his name is.
I know, the fucking football player, dude.
And
Ugh. Well, guess what? We're gonna hear a song about them breaking up in a year.
maybe.
Just saying. She's toxic because she can't keep a man. She can have any man she wants. She can't keep him, and then she writes songs about them. Like, I'm sorry, that's toxic.
Well, it's working for her.
Clearly.
At least she's,
But I still
she's
think-
making herself rich off of it.
I still think it's toxic, though.
Well, I mean,
I can't stand her.
none of the breakups really seem bad. They just seem
I also see on Peacock her fucking Capital One commercial, and it makes me want to throw up.
I don't see any commercials.
Okay, well, I see her on fucking Capital One, and it's like 20 of Taylor Swift, and they're all talking to each other. It makes me want to die. I really hate Taylor Swift, if you haven't caught my drift. She sucks.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
We will be doing some other well-known original monsters and go into the history of them and of other things spooky all throughout October. I also hope to have some like extra little content in there for you guys, and
We're going gung-ho for October.
We're gonna keep doing the little snacks too, so we'll probably post recipes for those as well.
And we took some really hot pictures, so you should like be aware of that because they're really hot.
And we're also gonna be doing mocktails.
Yes.
So
The one in the blood bag was technically the mocktail, but we added tequila to it. But that was just what we did.
So be sure to tune in. You don't want to miss it.
We should take a bite of our cupcake at the end.
You want to?
We should. We have to try it. Are you kidding me? We're just gonna sit here and not try it?
You already tried it.
No, I didn't try with the frosting. Cheers.
That's
Wait, we have to do it like this.
Okay.
Okay, ready? Got on my nose. Mmm! That's freaking delicious.
Alright, you guys. Thanks for joining. Have a good evening, and we'll see you next time.
Evening?
Yeah.
It's like 12:30 a.m.
I don't know when they're listening.
Have a good
morning.
night.
Have a good night.
Have a good afternoon.
Have a good whenever you're listening. How about that?
Yeah, have a good whenever you're listening. You're all beautiful,
Now and forever.
unless you're ugly.
Goodbye.